Hello to all of you. Today, we have a very serious and very important story to tell. It is a story about what is happening right now in the very center of our government, inside the walls of the White House. Sometimes, we see things on the television and they look one way, but behind the closed doors, where the public cannot see, the truth is often very different. Today, that truth has come out in a huge way, and it has left the president, Donald Trump, in a state of absolute fury. He is beyond angry. He is in a state of panic because the people he trusted most are starting to tell the world what is really going on. Donald Trump is having a terrible time right now. Usually, he likes to tell everyone that his team is the most loyal and the most successful in history. He wants us to believe that everyone around him loves him and follows his every command. But today, his own right-hand person, his chief of staff, a lady named Susie Wiles, has spoken out in a way that no one ever expected. To understand why this is such a big deal, you have to know who Susie Wiles is. She is not just any helper. She is the person who runs the president's life. She knows his schedule. She knows his deepest secrets. She knows his moods. And she knows exactly who he talks to every single hour of every single day. She is the boss of the White House staff. But she just gave a very long and very honest series of interviews to a magazine called Vanity Fair. In these talks, she described the president and his team in words that are absolutely shocking. First, let's talk about what she said about Donald Trump himself. This is the part that is making him so angry. Even though Donald Trump tells the world he is a strong, perfect, and healthy leader, Susie Wiles told the reporter that he has the personality of an alcoholic. Now, we all know that Donald Trump tells everyone he does not drink beer, wine, or any alcohol at all. He makes a big point of it. But Susie explained that even without the drink, he acts just like someone who has a deep drinking problem. She said he is always looking for attention. He thinks he can do whatever he wants without following any rules, and he is very, very hard to handle. She grew up with a father who had these exact same problems, so she says she knows the signs when she sees them. She sees a man who is not stable and who is not in control of his own emotions. It is a very sad and very scary thing to hear this from the one person who is supposed to be his top helper and his most loyal friend. But she did not stop there. She also talked about JD Vance, who is our vice president. Now, we must remember that JD Vance was not always a fan of Donald Trump. In fact, he used to say very mean and very harsh things about him. Then, suddenly, he changed his mind and became Trump's best friend. Susie Wiles said that JD Vance has been a conspiracy theorist for at least 10 years. That means he is a person who believes and tells strange stories that are not true, just to make people angry or to make them feel scared. She said he did not join Donald Trump because he really liked him or believed in him. She said he did it only for politics because he wanted to win a seat in the Senate, and he knew he needed Trump's followers to get there. She basically told the whole world that the man who is just one step away from being the president is just pretending to be loyal for his own gain. This is a huge betrayal of trust. Then she talked about Elon Musk. He is the richest man in the world, and he is always around the White House these days, acting like he is part of the government. Susie Wiles called him an odd duck. She said he does things that do not make any sense at all, and that he uses a drug called ketamine. She said his actions leave her feeling shocked, worried, and even a bit scared. Think about that for a moment. The people who are actually running our country's day-to-day business are shocked and worried by the people the president has invited into his inner circle. If the chief of staff is worried, we should all be worried. Susie also mentioned a man named Russell Vought. He is a person who has a lot of power right now because he is in charge of the government's money and the plan for the future, which some people call Project 2025. She called him a zealot. That is a word for someone who has very extreme, very radical ideas and will never, ever listen to anyone else or change his mind. She also said the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, who is supposed to be the top lawyer for the country, failed completely when she tried to handle the secret files about a man named Jeffrey Epstein. This is a very important part of the story, and it is something that makes the president very nervous. You probably remember the name Jeffrey Epstein. He was a very wealthy man who was arrested for doing very bad things to young women. For a long time, people have asked if Donald Trump was really his friend. Trump always says no, he barely knew the man. But Susie Wiles told the magazine that she has actually read the secret files. She said, and I am quoting her here, "Trump is in the files, and we know he is in the files." She said they used to fly around together on private planes, like young playboys looking for a good time. She even said that Trump was wrong when he tried to blame other people, like Bill Clinton, for these things. She said there is no proof against others, but there is proof that Trump was right there with Epstein. It is a massive betrayal for his own staff to admit this to the public. It means the president has been lying to us for a long time. Susie also told a story about what Trump wants to do to other countries. She talked about Venezuela. She said the president's plan is not about law or order, but just to keep blowing up their boats until their leader cries and gives up. Usually, the government tells us they are just trying to stop illegal drugs, but the president's own helper admitted that they are just trying to start a fight to change who is in charge of that country. She also said that Trump likes to joke about staying as president for a third term. As we know, the law in America says a president can only have 2 terms, but Susie says he talks about it all the time just to drive people crazy and to see how much power he can get away with. It shows that the president thinks the laws of our great country are just a game for him to play with. Now, while all of this fighting and drama is going on inside the White House, we have to ask, what is happening to you? What is happening to the regular American people who are just trying to live their lives? While the president is angry about a magazine article, the rest of the country is feeling a lot of pain. Just recently, we got very bad news about the economy. The experts who study these things are saying that our country is now in what they call a hiring recession. That is a fancy way of saying it is almost impossible for a regular person to find a new job right now. Since the spring, almost no new jobs have been added in the whole United States. People are not getting raises in their paychecks, and more than 700,000 people are now out of work who had good jobs just a year ago. In just 1 month recently, we lost over 100,000 jobs. This is happening because the president put new taxes, called tariffs, on things we buy from other countries. He told us this would help, but it is actually doing the opposite. These taxes make everything more expensive for you when you go to the store, and they make businesses very scared to hire anyone new because they don't know what will happen next. Unemployment has gone up to 4.6%. And if you have grandchildren, you should be even more worried. Over 10% of young people in America cannot find any work at all. This is the highest it has been in a very long time, and it means our young people are starting their lives with no way to pay their bills. Even the people who work in factories, the people who build things with their hands, are losing their jobs. For 7 months in a row, factory jobs have been going down. And it is not just jobs that are the problem. Your monthly bills are going up and up. Have you looked at your electric bill lately? It is expected to be the highest it has ever been this year. This is not because you are using more lights. It is because big computer companies are building giant data centers that use up all the electricity in the country, and the regular people like you and me are the ones who have to pay the extra money to the power company to make up for it. It is not fair, and it is hurting people who live on a fixed income or a small pension. Even the farmers are in big trouble. Many farmers in the heart of our country are terrified they are going to lose their land and go bankrupt. They can't pay for their seeds or their tractors because everything costs too much now. Some politicians are asking the government for billions of dollars in bailouts, which is just taxpayer money, just to keep the farms from closing down. If the farms close, the price of the food on your table will go up even more. It is a very scary situation that affects every single one of us. But if you listen to JD Vance, he acts like everything is perfect. He went to Pennsylvania and told the people there that he gives the economy a grade of A++. Can you believe that? He told the people they should be patient and that things take time. But that is not what they said when they were running for office and asking for your vote. Donald Trump promised that on his very first day in office, he would make prices go down immediately. He promised he would fix everything on day one. But here we are, a long time later, and the price of eggs is high, the price of gas is high, and jobs are disappearing every day. When JD Vance was asked why things are still so expensive, he changed his story. He said that nobody can fix these problems in just one day. He is making excuses. They made big, shiny promises to get into power, but now that they are there, they are blaming everyone else. They want you to think that the problems are not real, or that it's the Democrats' fault, or that you just aren't seeing how great things are. But the truth is not on the news. The truth is in your checkbook and in your grocery bag. You know how much things cost, and you know how much harder it is to make ends meet now. Even the people on Fox News, who usually support the president no matter what, are starting to admit that things look bad. They are saying that the country is not creating enough jobs, and that the few jobs we do have are low-paying ones that don't help a family survive. This is a very difficult and very serious time for our nation. This story about Susie Wiles and her interview matters so much because it shows us that the people in charge are not looking out for us. They are too busy fighting with each other behind the scenes. When the person who runs the White House is calling the vice president a liar and the president a man with an alcoholic personality, they are not focused on your electric bill. They are not focused on the farmers who are losing their land. They are focused on their own power, their own fame, and keeping their own secrets. Donald Trump is very angry because Susie Wiles told the truth about his past and his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. He is angry because she admitted he is just joking about the laws of our land. He is angry because the world can see that his team is falling apart and that they don't even like each other. But we should be the ones who are angry. We should be angry that our leaders are playing games and fighting over magazine articles while our families struggle to pay for their medicine and their food. We need to keep our eyes open and our minds sharp. We need to remember the promises they made to us and look at what they are actually doing now that they have the power. Don't let the loud, angry voices on the television or the internet confuse you. Look at your own life, look at your own town, and look at your own neighbors. That is where the real story of America is. The White House is full of drama and secrets, but the real heart of this country is in the people who are trying to work hard and be decent to one another. Thank you for staying with me for this long report. It is a lot of information to take in, but it is so important to know the facts. We live in a time where people try to hide the truth every day, but we will not let them. We will keep watching, and we will keep telling you what is really going on, no matter how much the people in power try to stop us. Please take care of yourselves and your families. The truth is the most powerful weapon we have, and we must never stop looking for it. The words of Susie Wiles are now out there for everyone to hear. They are on tape, and they cannot be taken back, no matter how much the White House tries to deny them. She has confirmed what many people feared, that the place where our laws are made is a place of chaos and confusion. And as the economy continues to struggle, the pressure on this administration will only grow. We must hold them accountable for every promise they made. If they cannot bring the prices down as they said they would, and if they cannot even keep their own staff together, then we must ask ourselves, who is really running this country? And whose interest do they have at heart? Stay tuned, stay informed, and most importantly, stay strong. We will be here to bring you the next chapter of this story as soon as it happens. Thank you for your support, and remember that your voice and your awareness are what keep our democracy alive. We are all in this together, and together we will find our way back to the truth. As we look at the future, we see more challenges ahead. There are reports that more people in the government might start speaking out soon. They see the ship is sinking, and they don't want to go down with it. We will be looking for those stories and bringing them to you as soon as they break. The cracks in the wall are growing, and soon, the whole truth will come pouring out for everyone to see. Until then, keep asking questions and keep looking for the facts. You deserve a government that works for you, not one that spends all its time fighting itself. Good night, and may we all see a better and more honest tomorrow.